2018, diagnosed with testicular cancer. And it was a very special time. After having cancer, going through chemo, if there was worst time in my whole life, it would be that whole chemotherapy year, because it takes away creativity, it takes away motivation, it takes away whatever internally that you feel. Right after recovering from that, only to realize that we cannot have a child.
Hey Steenies, welcome to another episode of the So This My Why podcast. I'm your host and producer, Lingya, and today's guest is Jared Lee. Now, Jared is one of Malaysia's OG YouTubers, and he's also the founder of Grim Film, which is a production company that does a lot of things, including animations, shorts, and web series. But did you know that Jared actually grew up with a single mom in a hair salon? He always knew deep inside that he really loved to tell stories, but he didn't know how. Jared ended up going to study mass comm, where he discovered a love of film, and he thought, oh, this is what I want to do. But it's one thing to want to enter the film industry, quite another to actually be able to do so. So firstly, Jared ended up working at an events company, and from there he started having opportunities because he launched this self-funded film called Long Journey. Long Journey has now garnered 3.1 million views on YouTube, and that opened doors, including the opportunity to launch his own production company. We talk in depth about Jared's entire journey, including what it's like to run Grim's Films. Are you ready? Let's go. Hi, Jared.
Hi, Lingya.
Thank you so much for joining me on the So There's No Way podcast.
No problem.
I love to start all my interviews by going to the very, very beginning.
Okay.
Deep breath. We're going deep.
I was born.
And you have a single mom. When we spoke about that, she's so instrumental in your life.
She is.
You basically grew up in a hair salon. I believe it's called Gina Salon
Yes.
in Subang Jaya.
Yes.
What is that life like?
I think until today, when we look back and we think about the condition of that room in the hair salon, we're like, wow, we actually lived through this. Yeah, it's crazy. I guess that is like one of the reasons why I can tell stories.
How so?
Because everyone who comes into the hair salon, they want to talk.
About their lives.
Yeah, they do. And honestly, the regulars are those that find a hairstylist that they can connect with. Essentially, it's not just about your hairstyle, right? It's about that person who makes you feel comfortable.
You're confident.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
you were there confident too?
no, I was the kid who just like, please don't call me, go say hi. Please call me, don't call me. Come say hi to uncle, auntie, see you grow up. And there were a lot. Yeah. I think it's very interesting up to today to grow up in a hair salon with a single mother who's trying her best to make things work because her past is so broken. And living as kids and seeing everything unfold was like watching a TVB drama. My biological father would come and he would cause problem. There was one time when he caused so much problem, then my stepdad had to bring out the knife and he was jailed for one night. Yeah. So these things don't happen to most of my friends.
Did you feel like you found an escape in telling a story?
I think I found escape imagining and reading a lot. That was the era where there were a lot of rental book kind of shop, and thankfully there was one just down the road from the hair salon. Wasn't too expensive, and mom didn't have much time during the daytime. So when I say, "Ma, can I take money to go rent book?" Yeah, take money, go read book is good. Go. If I say, "Ma, can I take money, go buy comic book?" is no. So comic books, my brother and I, we would like, okay, today we don't eat too much. We save half of our allowance, and by the end of the week, we can buy the new episode of Dragon Ball. Okay, deal.
And she never found.
She found it and she threw them away.
And then she started giving you money.
Yeah, and now I'm making more comics for myself. Yeah.
She sounded like a no-nonsense mom. I believe she threw you and your brother once out, and you had to live in a throwaway cupboard.
Yes, there was that one time. Things were so hard. Her education is just until standard 2. And given that kind of life and given her POV and her observation of people around her who also like didn't get the chance to finish school or go to school, she probably feel really scared that her son turned out the way they turned out.
So she had high expectations for you. You must excel in school.
That was like the main wish, right? But of course I didn't.
You were bullied in school as well.
Yes, I was. I think you're still searching for yourself when you're young. And you feel so much, especially in high school. And when you like things that the other boys don't like I like Sailor Moon, I like Spice Girls. I like the color pink, I don't know why. And I like to play masak-masak with the girls. And I think this action made the boys like, kid class. Yeah. And so it just continued. And the teacher actually made me a librarian because I don't talk in class. Hey, you sangat senyap ah. You nak jadi librarian? Then I'm like, you're like, can read books. Okay, let's go.
Did you ever thought of, what am I going to do with my life?
I knew that I wanted to draw. That's all I wanted. And I even like took empty paper and tried to emulate the comics I see. I guess that was my escape. But every illustration on the notebook was one cane. So it was a lot of cane.
Wow. Were you trying to charge for it? That's what Holly did. Did you know that?
What?
When she was in high school, she wasn't cane, but she thought very smart with some friends. Draw a comic and then just start lending around, like money, teacher found. They were like, well, cannot.
She went beyond lah. I was just in my own world, and then mom see like, what is this? Yeah. And then I started getting smarter. I tear out the pages. And then she start counting pages. Why this still look so thin? For every missing page, one cane.
Oh, but you still wanted to do art.
I don't know. It's just like I need to.
Yeah.
And trying to listen to the teacher in class, I couldn't like focus. Actually, even now, I think I have some problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to focus sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to like, okay, this is not interesting. I'm just gonna go into my world. And then, hey, Jared, yeah, I heard you.
You ended up helping your mom to run the salon for you.
Yeah.
Worst year of your life.
It was one of the worst years. But that time I was so hung up on writing music, then I thought like, hey, maybe if I help Mark do hair, and that one year I can also practice playing the guitar, write music and whatever. But I just couldn't get into it. I gave it like a whole year of trying. Went for classes and whatnot, and she teach me how to blow hair. I even blew a customer's hair for 7 hours. 7 hours, yeah. And
Customer stayed for 7 hours.
yeah, I think she was my mom's close friend or what, and she's like, it's okay, you can break this. I remember to this, yeah.
That conversation with your mom where you said, I don't want to continue, it must have been tough. Because she didn't speak to you after that for 3 months, right?
Yeah, she's like, no money, no shelter, no food, nothing, you get out and you survive on your own. I guess I got this from her, that stubbornness.
So what did you do when your mom kicked you out?
I'm also stubborn, so I'm like, I don't need you lah. But I actually need lah, but
I will not tell you that.
yeah, so I went out. My brother was kind enough to give me some of his allowance to eat roti, and I was sleeping over at a friend's house. And I went to to borrow money to enroll into mass comm. I was kind of lost. And I did.
The video making.
Yes, I actually knew I wanted to write stories. And in mass comm got journalism. Let's go there. But whatever I learned there was very bad timing because by the time I graduated, the DSLR was launched. I didn't learn it. I did learn some stuff, but the tech just changed.
But the thing you learned is probably, I love film.
Yeah.
What was that feeling? Because it sounds almost magical. Like you went, oh, this thing I'm doing for the first time is my calling. That's huge.
Definitely was a turning point.
What was that feeling? What does it mean to have a calling?
Like I said, I knew I always wanted to draw. but realized it's actually beyond the drawing. I wanted the stories. Yeah, that's why my drawing wasn't like, let's draw something really nice, but tell something through this. And after that, going into animation and realizing that I don't want to be just a gear in that, I found no joy. Yeah. And when that video class happened, I immediately saw the transition of my story turning into something.
So you had the thing, and then where does the thing go to actually build that career?
Yeah, and I think that thing made me like, off class time, I would write scripts, dive into writing, and realizing I suck at writing. Yeah, I suck so bad.
Humbling.
I get good ideas, but when I write it out, then I realize, I'm so limited in my vocab, even though I read quite a bit, but I just kept going. Yeah. And beauty of film is that people won't judge your grammar because it's already on the screen. And all the bad drafts and shitty drafts you don't see. Yeah.
What are some of the bad drafts that no one has ever seen?
So many. Like, my first ever assignment was about a Kingdom of Paos, and the Pao princess wanted to be human. To be human, she let this witch bite her. So she's like a Pao who's got bitten, and then she became human. So we stick mahjong paper on the back of this girl. Yeah. And she fell in love with Siu Mai.
Do you still have a copy of that?
Today, yeah.
Yeah, and we can share and go, this is the Pao princess.
Yeah, it's called Pao Kingdom.
And look,
Pretty much Little Mermaid, but Pao.
and look how far I've progressed since.
Yeah. Should remake that one day.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
And how did you go from all that to long distance? Because you actually runs company first.
Yes, I was.
So you couldn't work in a studio straight out.
Yeah. Funny enough, when my internship happened, I applied at all the studios that you can think of during that time, and I didn't get accepted. So I just interned at my mom's hair. So
Again.
I was like, I'm good at marketing now, let's try. But I didn't do much lah.
You weren't deterred? You didn't think, oh, no one accepted me, maybe not for me?
I don't know. Maybe, like I said, I have my mom's stubbornness. I just kept doing that while I work in events. I get to be creative a bit. And through there, I learned how to make pitch decks. Which helped today, yeah. Long Distance was one of those scripts where I felt, sounds cheap. I was like,
Why? It's a deep topic.
yeah. I mean, from the technical perspective, I don't need much. And I think it was very relatable. I went through 2 long distance, and I'm like, this feeling sucks. I'm sure other people feel it too. I wrote it, gathered some friends, made it. Yeah.
I thought it was so interesting that you said you felt like you had to make this film. Why did you feel like you had to?
The feeling was really strong when I wrote that script. Wow, that's sad way this script. I start tearing up while writing the script. But I'm like, oh, is it just for me? Is it just me? You know, people can get into their work, and when you show everyone else, they're like, what are you doing?
And you decided to put it on YouTube for a review.
Actually, the YouTube was, let's not waste this film, I'll just put there. Because the main goal was, let's win this competition, which we didn't.
Yeah.
And then, let's just leave it here.
And it went viral.
Yeah, it went viral.
And what was that feeling like? Because Hong also went through that whole upload, went viral, changed her life.
Yes, I saw it happen for her, and then we reached out like, hey.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then we met her before she went even more viral. I remember that day, I have still events. I was doing roadshow for face wash.
Yeah.
It was a pink booth, and we were in this all-girls university. We were teaching that how to use the face wash using your last 3 fingers, because these 2 fingers too harsh for your skin. It was crazy.
You learn lots of interesting life.
And during that time, the views, every time we hit refresh on the phone, it would jump 1,000, and new comments would just flood in. So I was like, guys, something is happening here. I don't know. what to do with it, like what should happen. I created the channel called Green Film because I like the word. Created a email.
I heard Jimmy Boy say in the interview with you that it was the first short from Malaysia that went viral. And there's no such thing as viral back then.
Yeah, OG, yeah. And now expired.
Yeah, no such thing as YouTuber. So when this thing went viral, what did you think you could do with it?
No idea. And being someone who never watched YouTube, like I only watch music videos and how to play certain songs on the guitar. I didn't know the existence of Wong Fu and David Choi and the whole gang who's already been doing it for maybe 2 years that time. And funny enough, that time I was still very active with the band. And Wong Fu was coming to Malaysia, right? The organizer called us and like, hey, you want to open for Wong Fu? I'm like, what's this Chinese band? So I'm like, oh, there's other people doing the same thing as us.
And what was it like meeting them and realizing, oh, there are other people who have done it a little bit longer than me?
They were huge, right? They sold out and they filled the whole Taylor's campus hall. So just a brief hi, bye. After the whole thing, only I told the organizer, hey, you should have told me so I can also show my short film and we can maybe talk. We somehow got connected and now we are friends. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Meeting people like Wong Fu must have made you realize there is a whole other career out there. How did you figure out what to do with your own career?
After the thing went viral, there were emails asking us, hey, you want to do corporate video? You want to do wedding video? Do you want to make a movie? And I think the industry didn't know what to do with us as a whole. They're like, are you production house? Are you filmmaker? But getting those emails and being someone who always jumped at opportunities because we were always hungry growing up, that was something that I wish if we could go back, do it later a bit. Like if I leave the event company, go into the production world and learn rather than go and start my own. So I just dove in and started with corporate videos. That time it was like, you're hungry, so wherever there's money, you go.
Yeah.
To the point where there was one time when there was really absolutely no money. And I wish for an accident so that I get money to eat. Yeah.
Yeah. You talked about money a lot. I wonder, what kind of money are we looking at? Was it a lot to do the kind of work you were being asked to do?
The lowest part of my life, it was like zero money. And then it was a rubbish bag replacing the windows. And we were like filling up petrol by the day because I shared with my brother. It was like, you go out, pump 5 ringgit, and then you come back, it's the light on again kind of situation. And so the first gig for corporate videos was like 2K, for example. And
That's very low.
and we're like, yes, shoot, one day got 2K, let's go. And the first, I would say, proper job from the ad agency, so that world I've never touched. Even though I was in advertising college, I was in like journalism-ish. And so not knowing that world, when they're like, hey, bro, we have this project, I see what you do, I like, you want to do or not? How much would you charge me? I was like, honestly, I don't know how much to charge. Can you suggest? And he suggested, okay, how about if it's 7 videos, you charge me 25 each.
That's blowing your mind.
Yeah. I was already calculating like, yeah, I can bring my parents out to makan. We had to do the 7 films in some weeks. And it was like script to final each week. It wasn't like, okay, script's all done, let's start the 7 week. That's crazy timeline. And on top of that, I don't know how to manage clients. I don't know how to set up monitors for clients. There's no crafties. There's just like, friend, you are producer. And I have another friend who shoots and a friend who holds the sound thing, right? And sometimes I record the sound and direct. The first day of shoot was like, oh, this one very demanding. It's not like how I just write and then I go and shoot. It's got feedback and you're like, okay, I think we can make this work. So going on set, they were shocked when the client agency came and they were like, what is this? The lighting?
Yeah.
was a construction light we bought from Harvey Norman, 70 ringgit. They were shocked and they were immediately in bad mood, and that pressure went on throughout the whole project. I would point it all at me because I don't know better.
So what should have been the case in terms of, like, say, timeline? What is the normal timeline?
At least ask for a month per short film. After years of collecting good people and knowing a better way to spend budget and a better ballpark, it's more manageable.
Yeah. You must have burned bridges making these unintentional mistakes.
Yeah, it was immediate burn bridge. By the fourth one, I was hospitalized. Like, during the lunch break, I was eating and suddenly everything went black. And I went in the hospital because there was shingles. Stress is one of the trigger points.
What happened after that? Did you think, hey, this is not for me?
The main thought was, how can I do this but not to this extent? It was new, it gave me pressure, especially to people who've never been there before. There was no assistant director, so I'm taking on the heat also.
What is it like to run a production company?
Don't run a production. Close it down. You're doing the right thing. Content creator.
It sounds glamorous.
A lot of people don't see the work that you and I put in behind what they're watching right now. There were several times where interns just disappear on us. There were interns who'd come on the first day and just so happened we had a shoot. Seeing the setup and the hours, the next day just bye.
How did you figure it out? I think the first 2 years was the toughest for you, right?
Until now.
Hey students, are you struggling to stand out in your career? The Build Your Why course is now available for you to change all that. You can learn through this course how to showcase your expertise and build a powerful personal brand that makes you stand out from the crowd. You will discover how to identify your unique selling points, define your target audience, and create content that resonates with them. Want to learn more? Check out the link in the description below. So join now, get 50% off during the beta launch, and free access to the first official cohort when it launches. Don't let it pass you by. I'll see you in the link below.
There must have been some turning point though where you felt as though, oh, I'm starting to get a hang of it.
The first 2 years was tough. Like, should you do more YouTube because you feel like there were more YouTubers coming out, and then you feel left behind when you don't upload consistently and you're not hitting the views they are hitting. But the good thing is our community here is very nice. I feel like Malaysians in general are very nice. So far. They're quite supportive. Okay, we treat YouTubers as YouTubers and production house as production house. This is two separate things. Production house know how to properly do production. And YouTubers are YouTubers. We just adapt to whatever they do, and as long as they get us the views. That's what I feel. And there was always this stigma where, if you YouTube, means you gotta do proper production. So at 2015, after spending like almost 5 years just doing comedy content, because short films take so long to make, I just sell out. I was like, okay, maybe do vlogs because I think of this character which I can play. And then it started doing quite okay. There were jobs, started to stabilize financially, and I have a small team. But at one point, I sat down and decided to write scripts again. And then the brain just like, this is what happened to you during childhood, which is funny. You know, I think that was my another why. I started to feel this dread. Like, I can lose everything I built. I can delete my YouTube video, but I cannot lose this thing that I once had and feel like it's not there anymore.
This thing is in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ability to play around and let's write a film. And so that scared me. And deciding to stop uploading, there were a lot of cool questions because we didn't stop when we started to decline. We stopped when we were still doing okay. And the team that time, who was so used to just doing YouTube stuff, suddenly get thrown into the real production world. They were scared. And I wouldn't blame them. I think almost all of them left.
Wow.
Like, there was like a wipeout of the dream team when I started shifting towards this direction
Did you second guess yourself?
every day. Yeah. But through chasing this thing, I find people who could withstand the hardship. And finally, and I found my partner now, Max. He's also my director of photography. He shoots and he's from like proper production background. And he say he looks down at YouTubers. He's like, oh, you don't know production one. And then he's like, yeah. So I say, so what's the moral of the story? He's like, moral of the story is don't hate. Anything you hate one day come to you. Yeah, that's very kuchai lama of you to say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is production so different from being a YouTuber though? I mean, look at YouTube now. It's so sophisticated.
Yeah. It's different from back then. You still can. You can do content with just your phone, right? But I think when you go into production, we need the lighting to be perfect. We need the color. And then we do 50 takes of the same thing. And you spend like sometimes 48 hours just doing a 30-seconder versus, hi, my name is blah, 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 and 100,000 views. Yeah.
And people don't see that.
People don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Despite it all, I feel like there needs to be a change, especially with the way the creative industry is treated. From the top all the way to the bottom, people must understand that this is not normal because we normalize it. Hey, you didn't sleep 16 hours. I didn't sleep 24 hours, but it's starting to celebrate. So maybe one day.
Okay, that sounds very familiar with my legal background.
Yeah.
We used to look at people going out at 6 p.m. and we would say, do you have enough work?
I have a 9 p.m. meeting.
At the 10 p.m. call, I'm still here at 11. How dare you walk out at 6?
You win. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how do you look in terms of a career? Because normally, like for law, very clear, you're associate, senior associate, partner with your production company. What does that look like? How do you drive yourself? Because normally having a goal helps, right?
Yeah. So there is no joy.
Yeah, because it sounds very depressing journey.
There is no joy in production. There is joy lah. I think the joy comes from the people, right?
Yeah.
It comes from a few things. Sometimes you get like a really fun board. And even though the board is about a product in the end, but if it's fun, there's at least some joy there.
Yeah.
And no matter how fun the board is, if the people behind the board are not fun, it will kill joy. So ultimately, it's people. There were a few times when new agency called up, hey, we want Greenfield to do this, but we got no budget, as usual, as all of them. We got no budget. I said, I don't care about budget, as long as you're nice. And then they'll be like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, you will understand.
So how do you test them? You wouldn't know if they're nice until you work with them, and then it's too late.
Exactly. And there's so many people involved, right? Some sets are 50 people. Some sets are like crazy amount of people. And you just need that 1 or 2 gears to be like messed up. And you're like, I regret everything now. And it's too late to pull out. I have to give it to this guy named Wei Hen from the Atlant. I think he's one of the guys who really believed in what he saw. And he was cool enough to work with how we worked. Yeah. And up to today, I call him Papa because he's like a Papa figure in the advertising world for me. There's one time I let him down. I was like, try making a movie with no experience. And then that time he gave us a job. And during that time, I was so focused here, I couldn't give my best here. So yeah, up to today, I feel regret. But from that whole experience, my takeaway is you said, just remember, when you say yes to something, you have to give your 100%. And suddenly, I start feeling scared of saying yes. Because I was always a yes man. I was like, new business, yes. Got money, yes. And problems come, right? At the same time, I just justify to myself, if I don't say yes, then how am I going to survive? So knowing that I have to give my best made me like, okay, cannot say yes.
Was it hard to make that switch?
It was very hard. And I have to constantly ask myself after saying yes, am I giving my 100%? And when they ask for ridiculous things, I'm like, it's too late. You say yes. Let's go. Let's go. Stop complaining. Let's go.
What about now? Do you still say yes?
I still say yes a lot of times, but at least now when I say yes, I'm like, now I have to do my best.
Yeah. I think what's very interesting, and kind of touched on this while you did long distance, then you also did all this humor and animation. And I looked at it and I thought, isn't that very contrary to the advice I read about content creators? You need to niche down, focus on one thing. But you were doing everything. I can't imagine fans of long distance wanted your humor stuff.
Yeah, we lost those fans for sure. When long distance came out, we were known as a Filipino YouTube channel because our cast were like, you couldn't tell their race. So when our actor went to Philippines, he was called in for interview. I think it was then I realized the power of YouTube during that time. Of course, now everyone's aware of it.
Yeah.
So it's the face that you sell. And then our, I think, second short film was this Indian guy. And I remember being in a meeting and suddenly I got a call from India. Like, hello, Mr. Lee. I really like your short film and you're on air right now. I'm like, what? I'm on Indian radio right now. I'm like, hi. I'm in a meeting right now. It's like, oh, can we talk?
Wow.
Yeah.
They really give you no notice.
Yeah. They're like, straight away, I'm live on air. It's like, oh, this is the director who made this thing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah. You make it sound like such a depressing journey, but you definitely had ups.
Yeah.
And I looked at the kind of clients that you landed. They were really good clients as well, right? They were like, let me see, Uniqlo, Samsung, Grab, Dove, DG. They're big clients that everyone recognizes.
Yes.
So you have figured out how to do this.
I would say I keep the nice ones closed, and you cannot tell if a person's good just from that one sitting, right? So you still have to take risk and find out for yourself if this relationship is worth keeping or not, right? And thankfully, especially with Uniqlo, I think it was the first brand that we went to say hi. Thankfully, they remembered we went to say hi and we did things for like, don't you pay us? Let's just do this because I love this brand. And maybe one day when you have money, pay us. And so they did, yeah. And
Uniqlo is very supportive of artists as well.
yes, yeah, they are. And this year, I managed to push 2 artists to Uniqlo for their collaboration. So I'm also very big on trying to support our local people.
Yeah.
This shirt is by local artists. This cap is another original IP.
Amazing.
Yeah, so Uniqlo has been very kind. Yeah, and if anything, there was like 2 years after we shift into becoming just production house. If not for Uniqlo, I think we tutup already lah.
What do you think is the most successful work you've done that you're most proud of? Oh, several, top 3.
Okay, there was a web series called Haja Ali, which we did for Uniqlo actually. I surprised they bought into the whole idea. It was 3 episodes about how a child's death brought this couple back together because he left a video message. And it was his wish that the parents go on this trip because he couldn't go. I think that was one of those films that I feel like turned out better than I thought.
The thing that everyone talks about now is Horologist, which is a COVID baby, which started all the way back in 2018.
Yes. And I think Horologist, I was very happy with just having it as a comic. And one thing happened, another thing happened, and somehow I get to jump into the whole full-on animation. And I'm very thankful for that. But if you ask me, I still prefer the comic. With every work I've ever put out, there is always something to fix. But with Horologist, I feel like there is a lot more that we can push. But with the amount of money that I had for the project, I'm thankful that it's here and let's wrap it up and hopefully we get to make better ones next time.
To give context for people who don't know this background story,
Yeah.
how does Horologist link to your diagnosis of having cancer? How was that whole journey for you?
Yeah, sure. 2018, diagnosed with testicular cancer, and it was a very special time. After having cancer, going through chemo, I think if there was worst time in my whole life, it would be that whole chemotherapy year, because it takes away creativity, it takes away motivation, it takes away whatever internally that you feel. And right after recovering from that, only to realize that we cannot have a child. So then the immediate thing you do after that is to find ways to get a child. And you know you really cannot, because you see the so-called magic doctor in Malaysia, and everyone's like, bro, this guy helped me get baby. And you hear it from the man's mouth himself. It's like, when we walk in, I see his face, I'm like, ayo. She's like, I don't know how to tell you. And she's surrounded by couple, whenever a couple take picture of him with a new baby, because he helped.
Yeah.
And like filled his room. And we are like one of those rare cases where he's like, ask me anything, you cannot. He was there to give us closure straight away. And he even pre-prep like a letter of recommendation for adoption. And then diving into adoption, finding out that in Malaysia is super hard. He has at least 2 couples who waited 5 years and haven't got their baby.
I learned about that because I know someone who's going to come on, investigative journalist who helped these 2 other journalists go undercover to find this baby selling ring in Malaysia, precisely because adoption is so hard.
And I start hearing all this contact, and I think Marian and I won't get it through like this illegal means. And there were, because it's like, hey, in Kuantan got some orang asli selling babies. I was like, that don't sound good. No. And so I think diving into the whole topic and over researching on the whole getting a child thing made me realize the number of abandoned children around the world. I reversed a bit. In 2016, we made a short film called The Last 7. And
Marian was in it.
Yes, Marian was in it. And it was the first short film after we launched in 2017, since we want to be a production house. And it was quite a big deal because we were flown into Singapore to pitch against content creators from around the world, including US. And coming out on top with the funds from Disney, and the judges were from YouTube Red and UK and all. The affirmation was real. I still remember this lady from UK, she came up to me like, tell me, what's your film about? What are you trying to say? You don't have to tell me now, but go back and think. And so that stuck with me, as you can see. Then I started baby steps. Like, okay, my next short film, what am I trying to say? I don't want to be like so in your face. The moral of the story is, don't throw rubbish.
It's like moral studies again.
Yeah. Watching good films with that lens on made me appreciate films on another level. It's like how they carry the message throughout, and I wanted that, right? And so when the whole infertility thing happened and realizing that children are abandoned every day, that was like, I am 100% going to talk about this, but in what form? So when COVID happened, my brain was going, hey, there was this issue that I feel really strong about. And so it slowly just formed.
You had elements of child abandonment, poverty coming all in.
Yes, and class differences thanks to my past and all kinds of elements.
What were your hopes for this film? Bad case scenario back then.
Up to 2019, I told my team, we don't care about profit. We are going to make good portfolio to prove to the industry that we can do production. And we did. And finally, we had a year where we were fully booked, 2020. And we never take profit till then and cannot take profit. So yeah, I have nothing to do. And to escape, I can only write. So, and I think, in what medium can I afford? And that I reached out to a few artists and the Comic Festa President Nerve who recommended, and thought like, hey, this is actually quite doable. So I did lah.
And then people started getting noticed. But it's not that easy to get an award. You have to apply, submit. For those who don't understand how it all works.
Yeah, so once you completed a film, do not put it on YouTube. If you want to be a content creator, by all means, just put it on YouTube. If you want to chase that filmmaker route, there is this website called Film Freeway. Yeah, not promoting. But it is really the main websites where they have all the festivals around the world. Maybe, yeah, there's the big five, and then you've got your second tier and third tier and whatnot. And then you can read even reviews from people who went, who submitted. It's good festival, bad festival, new festival. And then you choose lah. I would say once your film is done, it has 2 years of lifespan to send to festivals.
Or you can pretend when you finished, right?
Yes, you can. But once you send out, it's like,
Yeah.
that's the start. And my mistake
I still haven't learned everything.
is, hey, this one, I feel got chance. We just send to everything. So you spam. And only to realize the big ones want exclusivity. So maybe the big one will announce here, but a smaller one tells you you're selected here, and then you accept. And the big one's like, hey, I want your film. Did it premiere anywhere else? I said, it premiered here. Then they said, okay, sorry, no. Yeah, so there are festivals that I won't name that we missed because of this. So to heads up to everyone out there who's in this line, who's planning to go into this line. So your first year, just aim the big guys. If by the end of the first year you feel like didn't go anywhere, then second year you try with the B tier and C tier and so
But
on.
how important are these awards? It's not like you get cash prizes that would change your life.
Some give you cash prizes which maybe cover your air ticket.
Not life changing.
The life-changing part is more work above getting selected, right? Yeah, which most creatives, introverts like me, will dread. But it was like a do or die situation. How often are you going to get selected for this festival? It's so exclusive. If you don't get selected, you cannot buy a ticket in. So while you're there, what are you going to do? So I start talking to strangers lah. I was there and no experience, and everyone else seemed to have figured it out because they've been there like 5 times. And they're like, bro, you didn't set any meeting? I set mine last year. I'm like, oh, thank you. I wish I talked to you earlier. I would just talk. In the cinema, I'll talk to the guy on my left. Our offer can be like how I offer you as an icebreaker. Because they feel like, oh, I need to talk to this guy because he offered me something. It was very interesting. And I'm still chasing the whole networking thing. The most important thing that happened from the awards for horologists is meeting Fina in Cannes. I met Dato Kamil. They were not aware that we were there, but it's all good. We talked and we stayed connected till today. And having the media shout the awards and stuff make the MDEC who funded the film notice also. And they are quite happy because they funded it and it's actually doing something. So
Finally, you've made it.
yeah, yay. And then they can tell the king, hey, see, we invest the right one. I've never, till end of 2020, ever thought I'm going to get some money from the government to make something that I love. Just felt so out of reach. We send emails before where we don't get replies. So we got the grant. And thankfully, through that, things happen. And for MDEC, they're really supportive.
So it sounds as though with these awards, the award itself doesn't really matter. It's more for social proof to allow you to open doors that were previously closed.
Yes, it's really the doors. It's really the doors, and it's really you stepping out of your comfort zone and to be thick skin, no choice.
So it's really just, hey, this is who I am, what I do.
Yeah. I carry my comic books, and I was lining up to get my turn at the mic. All the big publishers was on table in front. There was a crowd, and once the security saw I was carrying books, he straight away cut me and said, end of session. I didn't care. I ran to the stage. Hi, I'm Jerry Lee from Malaysia, and this is my book. Can you take a look? Tell me what you think. And then some said, no, it's in our policy. We can't. Some were kind enough to take it. But I pushed myself there. Awards are awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still have to fight.
Wow. Any regrets going down this path?
No regrets. If I had to do it all again, I just do things differently. But I think I found my why. I tell stories.
Yeah. But you could tell stories in different ways. They're less hard.
That's less hard for sure. I don't know why I chose the hard. But if you ask me, you could take away all the cameras and stuff, and I would still be happy just writing a book.
Do you feel like your work is more acknowledged overseas than here?
Sometimes it's hard to ignore, even from YouTube, and you see the acknowledgement you're getting from the festivals out there, and you lose in a competition locally. It feels like, but I try to keep an open mind lah. I love our country. I love our people, and having traveled so much this year, I appreciate our country even more. No country is perfect, but I feel like we've got a very nice place, even though we have that stereotype of, oh, this product from US is good, this product from Malaysia is bad, There are celebrities who choose to go there because they get treated better, and being successful there, you get even more successful back home, versus you just try to make it here, which is a sad thing, which is a very, very sad thing. I think Yuna is one of them, one of those amazing singer-songwriter who, after she made it there, then people started appreciating her even more.
Yeah. Is there anything that people listening can help you with?
Help me with? I think I'm currently just trying to chase a bigger dream, and hopefully with the accolades and the mentions, we get to eventually make a long form, a movie. I'm bringing like 3 IPs around now. There are very kind people in the industry who are actually going out of their way to like, hey, you meet this guy? I connect you. I'm like, good. Faith in humanity restored. So I'm in that phase. Of course, I cannot forsake the team, the cari makan part. So I still have to go into the ad world and juggle this thing. So if anything the viewers can help me with is just be kind. Just be nice to me.
Watch your YouTube.
My YouTube is expired, but you can just follow on Instagram. I think our last post on YouTube is a few years back.
I have one question from me.
Mutual friend.
Everyone listening, it's Alvin Lee. If you don't know me, I am a record producer, a mixer, and a recording engineer based here in LA. Some of my more notable works are the recently released Netflix series Blue-Eyed Samurai, and depending on when you listen to this, the upcoming or already released The Brother's Son starring Michelle Yeoh. Jared, since you showed up and asked me a question on my podcast, I thought I'd return the favor. In what part of filmmaking do you find yourself most inspired by? And as someone who works in all different styles of filmmaking, including manga and live action and animation, how do you feel the variety of work has influenced your style? I look forward to hearing your answer.
He brought us for a really good Korean barbecue.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you, Elvin, for the meat and the question. Reading so much shonen manga like Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, all the big titles, it made me feel like I also want to be a hero and I want to change the world. And what is my strength? It's storytelling. It's a very naive dream. Like, I'll change the world. And that dream slowly dissipates, right? In real world, unless you are really somebody, then you have the power to change the world. And last year when we did our first TV series, there was this Malay actress who cried. She shared her feelings and she thanked us for the environment that we set. And she said she was so depressed with the industry until she got into our set and she saw hope again. I think the joy of filmmaking is meeting good people, connecting good people together. And his other question on the Rojak, I know I should sharpen my style, but what to do? This boy has too many lights. It's funny because I was like musician first, and then when we jump on YouTube, the fellow musicians like, I didn't know musicians can be funny. And then recently I shared something in the theme of Made in Malaysia. I feel like Jawa is made for Malaysia. You don't have to have a rumah kampung, coconut tree to establish that this is Malaysian or nasi lemak, right? It's what you grew up with, and you have the Malaysian passport. You're Malaysian, you grew up here. And yeah, it's always been comics, it's always been anime, and live action I found in college. Whether I will find eventually a style where people can be like Edgar Wright or Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up, I wonder if there's one takeaway people could have from this entire talk, what would it be?
Don't do production. I think pay your dues first and be kind. Yeah.
Since you already said that you know your why, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
As long as don't leave any debt behind, then it's fine. For my family. As long as the story touches one person, then I'm already happy.
What do you think are the most important qualities of a successful person?
Important qualities. To have time for people they care about.
And where can people go to find out what you're up to, support your work?
Go on Instagram, The Grim Film. You can follow me on Instagram. It's public. Ask me whatever.
There's the thing that crossed my mind. And you and Marion are very open with your life. You don't have to tell the world about cancer, for instance, but you did. How do you think about sharing your private lives publicly?
Because I think I'm big skin. And when I was going through that, I was like, no one ever talk about this. And being someone who just went through it, I feel like I need to, not for attention, but to educate or to raise awareness. True enough, after that video, I think I got at least 30 DMs from boys who are feeling the same thing, and they're too shy to talk to their mom or sisters about, because it's an all girls household, and some say they just eat Panadol to suppress the pain. I'm like, tell your mom, this is more important than your embarrassment. You don't be shy.
So they're not sure if they have it.
Yeah. And there are people who, thanks to the video, went to check and realized they actually have testicular cancer. I just met this guy from Johor, and he said like, bro, I just watched your video throughout my own journey. Yeah. So I'm quite thankful we did.
So moral stories, you have no idea how many lives you touch.
Or how many balls I've removed.
That's a wonderful note to end on. Anything else you'd like to share before we end?
I think everyone should support Linya with So This Is My Wife.
Oh, thank you. And I actually support you as well.
Thank you.
And I feel like you just gave me the title for this episode. How many balls have I removed?
The thumbnail's just like a grape. Yeah, people don't see how much work is put into. Like, it's your fourth one today.
But mine is nothing compared to yours.
No, there is no scale when it comes to hardship or suffering. If there was, my mom will be on the podium. I'll story you next time on that one.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Jared, such a pleasure to have had you on.
Thank you for having me. Thanks you.
And that was Jared Lee on the So This Is My Wife podcast. If you've enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe to the So This Is My Wife podcast. And do stay tuned to next Sunday because we'll be releasing another episode with a very interesting guest. But to find out who, you just have to wait till next Sunday. So see you there.